Hello everyone, my name is Alan and I am the face behind Century Countess when I'm not in character. I learned my sewing skills from my grandmother, and there were several family members that wanted to show me another method that I just did not like, and it didn't really work for me. And I believe my grandmother's method worked pretty good because there was a friend of a friend, who's now my friend, who had a pair of pants that just could not stay together. So I just stitched it one time, and this was, I want to say, 2-3 years ago. And those pants are still still working. They're still, the stitch is still there. It's still going strong. So I'm going to say my grandmother tactic was the best than any of the others. I love to draw, I love to paint, I love to sculpt, I love to create, I love to write. I mean, multi-talented.
I also learned that I'm good at voice acting.
But yeah, I multi-talented. I'm interested in the theater. I tried to perform in my elementary school a few times, but I'm always forced into the chorus. I mean, I wasn't allowed to audition. I mean, basically they told me in a very nice way was, you weren't pretty enough. You're not the pretty boy face that we need for our play. Basically. I mean, that's how I put it. Because everyone in the chorus were either, I don't want to go into that. I mean, that's rude, and I don't want to. I'm not a rude person, so I'm not going to do that because that's just pure rude. But yeah, that's what I was the course. I did get a chance to get on stage when I was in elementary school. It was some sort of candle lighting ceremony. I forget what it was for. I had a short speech. All I had to do was light a purple-colored battery-operated candle, and that was it. Now, when it came, my downfall was fancy words, and back then I had a really strong speech impediment. There was this girl. She was kind of short, patient type. I don't know why they wanted her there, but sure enough, I had one word, and I finally managed to get out, and then I was continuing my speech. She grabs the mic, she grabs the candle, and then she decides to do it herself. Everybody was laughing, I was humiliated, and let's just say it didn't stop me from trying later on in the future, but I broke off the friendship with that person from elementary school after that because she had no remorse. And she said I was stupid. So that's not a good friend when your friend calls you stupid because you may had one little error. I love horror. I'm obsessed with horror. I'm obsessed with historical film themed movies. But I love 80s horror. I love early 90s horror. I love horror from the 70s, 60s, and the black and white era. I actually had an argument with a former acquaintance of mine. We were watching a George Romero movie, which was Day of the Dead, and they claimed up and down this was not a George Romero movie, and I said yes it was. I even showed them the DVD with George Romero's name. They said this was BS, and I think they assumed that George Romero was more was the 2000 horror Dawn of the Dead type of thing. They never seen the original Dawn of the Dead, and I showed them that too, and they called BS on that, saying that that's no George Romero. And I said, of course it's George Romero. And then they were referring, no, it's this. And I said, that's Rob Zombie's remake. And but anyway, it's a whole drama if I go there. But yeah, one of my favorite things that I love that doesn't involve sewing costuming is horror. I really started golf quite recently. I just gave the announcement that I was golf just a few weeks ago. Edwardian or romantic golf, however you refer to it, with a little bit of a punk, as you can see. I found out like I said, quite late, but I've been interested in it since I was very young. I loved looking at it in magazines. I loved seeing goth dressed up actors in films that were just not stand-ins. What were they? Non-speaking parts, I guess you could call it. There's some goth YouTubers that I follow. I love the music. My favorite is The Circle from, I just learned the album, so I'm sorry if I butchered. It's called Insta Medusa, I believe. And yeah, and then I started dressing it. I just decided, you know what? See how you feel. So I started wearing it, and it's just, I feel like myself. I literally feel like myself. I've tried to find myself for years. I've tried vintage and retro, but it just wouldn't work. So then when I tried, thought, well, maybe I'm goth. Because I just feel comfortable when I put this on, and I've never felt more like me in ages. I mean, since quarantine. This is one of my drawings. I drew a lot as a kid, all the way up to high school. I don't do it too often, but occasionally when I get an idea for a costume or a character, I'll draw it out. This costume was my Pride costume for this year, 2023, and it was pretty heavy. It's actually based from a Worth gown pattern, and let's just say it was quite heavy in the back. I mean, my the area between my back and my hip hurt for a couple of days because of the weight, but other than that, it was a glorious gown. Speaking of characters, before I ever did my Countess portrayal, she started out in drawing form. This is one of her portrait pictures that I did of her, basically describing her personality, her love for theater and literature, plus the little Shakespearean skull attached to her little decorative belt that's attached to her dress. She's very simply dressed, well, not simple, but, she knows how to glamour it up when she wants to. This is one of the type of hairstyles. It's actually a real hairstyle from, I want to say early 1600s, Spanish style. But yeah, I have a replica wig of this. And I did do a video a while back when I was lip syncing to a song that did not, for some reason, the audio would not line up when I was done editing it in a green screen. This is some of the stuff that I've done. I wasn't a Cornish student, but I did take part in a free Cornish class where the students, I believe the senior students, we did a play, and it was based on our own creativity. We came up with something called Eccentrica, which was the first one. I really liked that one because that basically publicly debuted the Countess in a way. I mean, she was already performing open mic, but this was like a full audience debut. This is basically my real name. Don't just ignore that. The story of the Countess, the costume illustration, close-up of the Countess in the hairstyle that I was talking about. This is the old version. The new version is much more better. This is the costume in full form, and I did a video a while back about this dress. This dress has had many lifetimes in many incarnations. This was the second free Cornish class play that we did called Recovery of the Phoenix. I was the Phoenix character. That costume, I kind of made it very like 1920s burlesque-y. It was a fun play. This is our building's open mic. I founded it along with my life coach. This is a little design that I made, and then they altered it in a poster form. They actually added this, which I really like. Gives it like a cute little cameo look. But yeah, it was a fun event. We just started it up. It was a blast. It was a fun blast. So this is a portrait of my mother. I don't have any photos of her, so I can't really show them, the likeness, but it is a little bit different. Years and years ago, my mother asked me to paint her or draw her how I saw her, and it wasn't easy. Towards the end of her life, my mother and I were very estranged. I'm not going to go into details, but I will say this. I finally did what she had asked me, which was painting her a portrait, and I painted her as the evil queen from Snow White, because there was so many things that she represented that was similar to the evil queen. Nothing like sinister, but she was very vain, so I did a portrait of an old lady in her hand mirror, and she was also afraid of death, so I did a little vulture here, just, landing down, and then you had this serene beauty, because she was a beauty, but she did not see that. I was told stories that, she and my grandmother's brother, her uncle, my great uncle, would go to bars, and these men would buy her drinks, and she didn't understand it, and she couldn't drink all of them, so my uncle said that he got a lot of free drinks whenever they went to the bar together. And then this is a portrait of me dressed up as Mrs. White from Clue, Madeline Kahn, basically, as best as possible. A friend of mine who was an art teacher, Hugo, he did this portrait of me, and I still have it to this day. And then this was for an art gallery that was at the Seattle Art Museum. I forget what it was called, but it was where they... Oh, hold on. There we go. It faded. It's acting up now, but yeah, it was for an event that I forget what it was called, but there was portraits. They looked like historical portraits, but they were pictures of celebrities, and they had a small section that had us in it. And after the exhibit was over, they gave us back the pictures that we posed for, and everybody posed in their regular dress, but I had, I needed to express myself for me, so I dressed up in this lovely ensemble here. I'm also a doll collector. I collect a lot of vintage dolls. This is one section of the collection. And you got a couple of Jean Marshalls, Barbie, and then McKelman's. Here's another section. And then we have a little Betty Davis doll that I made, and then the dress was custom requested, so somebody else made the dress based on photos. We have another section. Here's another one. I really like how they're piled up here. They look so cool. We got a lower section. This is a custom doll that I made from scratch. Down here, we have the bridal section. This doll is going to be put back in this dress here. This was from another video, Fame That Never Got Done. I'm also a big Ren and Stimpy fan. And then down here, by the way, I gotta do some dusting now that I see this, but we got a few Spice Girls and the live action Barbie played by Margot Robbie, I mean. I'm also a gamer. Unfortunately, I can't afford an updated game console, so I'm an Xbox 360 person for now, but I would do a little bit of gaming on my channel for people who love gaming. But if I were to do that, I would have to record it from my phone somehow, and that probably wouldn't look good, so I'd probably do it as a comedy short with probably me in a side window or something. But yeah, that's another thing that's about me, basically. My movie collection, this is all comedies and historical stuff up here, and then down below is my Disney villain collection. A lot of these are some collector items. Down here is my
foreign, other country films. One of my favorites is this one, The Story of Yangshi Palace. Really good series. And if you want a good vampire comedy, I suggest Mr. Vampire. Down here is my horror section. I'm sorry if my voice goes in and out. I don't have a mic. And then below this is the animation, cartoony stuff. And then down here is what books that I have and a box of trash bags.
Gentlemen, enough with the unpleasantries. I've heard enough. Why don't we return to our business? Or am I going to get angry? And trust me, you do not want to endure the Countess's anger. The Countess is always leaving me with all this work. All I do, all day, comb hair, tease hair, cut hair. When am I going to get a vacation? When am I going to get a raise? When? Oh, I just heard the news. Marcia Lee is not going to be able to host the potluck this year. You know what that means, girls? Yours truly is going to be the hostess. Now be sure to bring a crock pot. Otherwise, you're not going to be sticking around at Taffy's party. No. Oh, Madame du Barry, that necklace. It's absolutely fabulous on you, darling. What's that now? Oh no, Marie Antoinette did not invite you to another tea gathering again? Darling, you really need to leave Versailles. I keep telling you, this place may be fancy, and Louis is probably a good meal ticket. I mean, you are the mistress of the king right now, but darling, there's so much more you can do than being snubbed out by all these snobs.
Oh dear. I left my oven on again. Oh, wait a minute. That was the Countess's kitchen. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about a house fire. It's her house, not mine. No. She can have the bird roast though. But I do want my utensils back.
Fake eyelashes, blink, 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 blink like a shiny star. Just a touch of blue and you'll be through. Come on, let's put on fake eyelashes. Explain the film Spider-Man. Young man get bit by a spider and becomes superhuman, as they call it, as the youths call it. Explain. I got bit by a spider. I developed horrible rash. Explain the stupidity that is Spider-Man. Can somebody explain this monstrosity? Either way, it's a good hit. I like it.
Hello? This is Spider. Spider.